The time is 8:07. Beautiful start here in downtown Wausau at our studios at the corner of Washington Street and North 3rd Street in downtown Wausau. Currently, lots of sunshine, temperature of 60 degrees. I'm Chad Holmes. It is the Thursday edition of the Chad Holmes Show on Bull Falls Radio, 98.9 and 1230, online at bullfallsradio.com, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. You can also join us with our video stream by going to facebook.com and x.com and checking out the Bull Falls Radio page. Coming up on the program today at 8:20, we'll be talking about what's been a rather interesting weather period here in central Wisconsin. We'll be joined by Brittney Merlot. At 8:34, it's our weekly segment, NorthStar Knows, with NorthStar Restoration Services and NorthStar Builds. At 9:20 this morning, we'll be talking to former U.S. Senator Doug Jones, Democrat from Alabama. He was in Wausau yesterday afternoon as a representative of the Biden campaign for a roundtable discussion on Social Security and Medicare with area residents. I had a chance to sit down with the senator after the event, and we'll hear his thoughts on President Biden's economic record, his experiences working with Senator Tammy Baldwin, and more today at 9:20 a.m. Also in the second hour of the program, we'll again play the Scotty Summer Text-to-Win contest as well. We'll have more details on that as we continue this morning. But to start things off here on this Thursday morning, as we do each Thursday, very happy to welcome back to the program the host of Up North News Radio, which is heard right before this program from 6 until 8 a.m. on Bull Falls Radio and the Civic Media Radio Network. It's our friend Pat Kreitlow. Pat, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing very well. Beautiful start here in north central Wisconsin. I tell you, even got some construction going on behind my right shoulder. From time to time, the building shakes a little bit, but that's the sign of progress.
That's money. That's jobs. That's improvements.
Is.
Absolutely. I mean, it's what I always say when you hear in the political campaigns, talking about all these things are causing inflation and causing. No, that's again. I say all the time. It's getting the work done. The things that have been neglected for far too long are finally getting done. That's a good thing.
And actually, that's one of the topics that I'll be speaking to Doug Jones about in the second hour of the program. In fact, we talked a little bit about the infrastructure package and what it's doing for here in Wisconsin. So,
Chad, why? Why did you mention Doug Jones? Why?
Why? What's wrong with Doug?
He should still be in the Senate representing Alabama instead of that Russian mole embarrassment, Tommy Tuberville. And his comments, his inane comments yesterday about, Putin doesn't even want Ukraine. I mean, the puppetry of somebody like him is just so galling. And the fact that he's a U.S. Senator rather than Doug Jones is just wrong on so many levels.
And the thing about yesterday's event, and I just, sat back and watched the event, and it was very interesting because normally we have these kind of events where somebody comes and they speak in front of a big crowd and you have the lines to get people going. This was just around a table with 9 residents from north central Wisconsin talking about the issues of Social Security and Medicare. And the thing that jumped out was how much Doug Jones is able to connect with those folks, is able to listen to simple things, just as making sure right away he knows the name, so when the discussion occurs, he's able to say the name. I mean, I thought it was a master class in terms of how government should work. It's about listening to the people. It's about talking about important issues. And when we get into all the, I would call it the circus-like atmosphere, the clickbaits that we have so often, it was just such I thought, a refreshing time to watch, I think, our system work the way it should work.
I'd said as well when Mitch Landrieu, the former New Orleans mayor, came up to Wisconsin on behalf of the Biden campaign, that you can judge a campaign not just by its candidate, but by the people they choose to be their surrogates, to come here and speak on their behalf. And that includes everybody from the vice president and the first lady to people like Mitch Landrieu, to people like Doug Jones. I'm going to be interviewing later today Democratic National Committee Chair Jamie Harrison. And in all of those cases, you're picking just the absolute best people to advocate on your behalf and to speak for you. Contrast that with, say, Eric Hovde, who could not even find 3 regular folks to appear in his latest commercial, where I saw these 3 middle-aged white guys sitting at a bar, and they're all just whining like, oh, this and that and this and that. And we come to find out all 3 of them are employees of Eric Hovde's company, and it wasn't disclosed, of course. He couldn't find regular folks, so he had to pluck 3 of his employees out and say, hey, sit here and gripe about something so I can look good in a Senate commercial. That's the difference when you can find real good surrogates to speak on your behalf.
It also just shows that you care about the issues. And as we go into the final 5 months of this 2024 campaign cycle, which is going by so very quickly, to be able to talk about real issues, talk about, again, the folks around that table. There were 9 different folks around that table who had a chance to talk to Senator Jones, and Senator Jones talked about why this issue and these issues are important to the Biden administration, to the Biden campaign, to the president himself. And I thought to myself, there's no way that Tommy Tuberville could sit around and talk about these issues. There's no way that Ron Johnson could sit around and talk about these issues, or Tom Tiffany sit around and talk about these issues without making it some sort of circus. And again, it's just
because they won't speak for something. It'll just be if Ron Johnson or Tom Tiffany, it's we got to get government out of the way. Government shouldn't spend. Government this. And it's like, well, what would you do? You're a United States senator or congressman. You can't spend somebody else's money. We pay taxes. We expect good value for that. What are you going to do? You don't have to do exactly what a Democrat would do, but what are you going to do to address this problem? And instead, we just get griping, and it just gets old. The whining is nonstop from them, as opposed to, say, Doug Jones talking about solving a problem.
And also, it talks about, the way you do your job. I mean, if you did your job, if you went to your job the way that some of these folks that we just mentioned talk about their own job, we wouldn't hire them. We wouldn't have them come and do the work for us. I mean, it truly is. It's ridiculous. And again, it comes in another aspect I hope people stick around for in the second hour, because I asked Senator Jones about working with Tammy Baldwin. I avoided specifically going into Ron Johnson. I made a little comment that people will obviously hear when they tune in the second hour. But what he said about Tammy Baldwin in terms of every issue that she talks about, she starts off with, how can this affect in a positive way the people of Wisconsin? And when is the last time anybody could say that about Tom Tiffany here in the 7th or Ron Johnson? I mean, it's not that complicated, is it? You've been in these rooms with people that, you try to find ways to help people, to lift people, to give fair opportunity for people. And again, it's frustrating to see so much clown show aspect to what is life and death seriousness.
And I want to make sure that people understand that this is not the way it's always been, because it's very easy for people to normalize this and say, well, that's just them talking about a situation that's always been that way. No, absolutely not. There were some wonderful Republicans that I served with who served because they wanted to serve. They wanted to solve problems. We didn't necessarily agree at the beginning of a discussion on how we would go about it, but as we worked together, we would come up with a way to solve a particular issue. Now, this one is not a great example, but if people go, well, come on, give me a real life example. I would come back to the smoking ban, for example, in 2007, where there were people that wanted it instantly. There were people that wanted it never. And somewhere in the middle, we got people together and said, what if we phase this in to, allay people's concerns? Again, it's not the best example, but I wanted to give you a real world example of where people from all sides of the political spectrum came at a problem, and a few people wanted to dig in their heels and have it be my way or the highway, but many others actually just wanted to solve the problem And that's what we need more of, not less of, in Madison and Washington.
Last week, I think it was, I mentioned how much I enjoy your segments with Mark Jacob on Fridays. I wanted to ask, did you see some of the discussion yesterday about the Wall Street Journal piece on President Biden?
As a matter of fact, tomorrow, Mark Jacob will be off. He's got a family function going on. So we are very fortunate to have pinch hitting Jennifer Schulze, another Chicago news veteran, another one of my favorite people on social media posting about the national media. And my first question for her, I've already got it written, is about the New York newspapers and how they seem to have lost their minds. You've got the Wall Street Journal, which was always a little unhinged, but now just has full-out Biden derangement syndrome with this latest hit piece that we're going to talk about. But then, of course, we've talked at length about the New York Times. Bending over backwards doesn't even fairly describe the way that they want to avoid being tagged as the liberal paper. They've become the both sidesism paper. So I'm sure Mark and I will talk about it in a week, but Jennifer Schulze and I are going to talk tomorrow at 7:30 exactly about that, starting with that Wall Street Journal hit piece.
And the thing about it is that whatever the perspective is, there's a certain expectation of fairness. And when you see all these folks come out and say, hey, I talked to these reporters, I said a different point of view than all the Republicans that were quoted in that article. That's something that jumps out. I understand that people will have points of view, but this idea that you're just going to completely mute people that you talk to put out a one-sided piece it is disturbing on a very, very high level.
Yes, to go back a step for folks who might not be familiar with the story. The story essentially, again, questions President Biden's mental acuity and quotes several Republicans. Not a surprise. But after the story came out, people were not happy that the story was so one-sided anyway. But then you had multiple Democratic members of Congress say, hey, I was approached by that reporter. I gave that reporter quotes on the record, and none of them got in the piece. And the reporter said, well, I can't put everything in. Yeah, but you didn't even try to put in one Democrat. It was just absolutely journalistic malpractice.
Pat Kreitlow, every weekday morning, 6 till 8 a.m., Up North News Radio, right here on Bull Falls Radio. Pat, thanks again for joining us. Have a great rest of your Thursday, great weekend. We'll talk again next week.
Thank you. My pleasure. Take care.
That is, again, Pat Kreitlow. Great to have him on. Sticks around after his show to spend a little time with us on Thursdays. Coming up, we will have our NorthStar Knows feature coming up at 8:34. Doug Jones, former U.S. Senator, at 9:20. And coming up next, we'll talk to Brittney Merlot. It's just been very odd weather recently. What can we expect as we get towards the weekend? We'll talk to Brittney coming up next. Chad Holmes Show, Bull Falls Radio, 98.9 and 1230.
That's why I like it.
Chad Holmes Show, Bull Falls Radio, 98.9 and 1230. Online at bullfallsradio.com. Mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO and on the Civic Media app. And again, you can also join us on our video stream by going to facebook.com and x.com and search out Bull Falls Radio. And also, again, you can also join us by giving us a call at 715-382-9297. And that's our text line as well, 715-382-9297 to let your voice be heard on the program. Well, we're getting closer and closer to the weekend. It's been a very interesting weather week. I tell you, it has been, I think, almost odd in terms of what we've seen. We've had last 2 days, we've had severe thunderstorm warnings at some point roll through our area. And today we look outside and it is just gorgeous to start things off. But again, the weather looks like it's going to be a little bit odd for this time of year as we get later into the day. Who can figure this out? There's only one person that can figure this out. That's our meteorologist, Brittney Merlot. And Brittney, good morning.
Good morning, Chad. I'm pulling my hair out with the weather this spring. Gosh.
Well, I always say it's better not to be bored at work, and you're not bored at work these days, are you?
No, I am not. It's kind of funny because I was talking to our Wisconsin Rapids station and they're like, well, you wouldn't want to be a forecaster in California because it would be just so boring. Or would you prefer that? And I said, oh, absolutely not. No way. That is just, I couldn't imagine every day. It's just sunny, mid 80s, sunny, mid 80s. But, here we are, Wisconsin. We got to love it. If you don't like the weather, just wait a few hours and it's going to change. Just like yesterday, we had a mix of the sun, the heavy rain, the strong storms. I mean, there were gusts nearly 60 miles per hour into Rhinelander again yesterday evening. Superior, Wisconsin got over 1.5 inches of rainfall. And of course, we had a lot of those storms just swiping through the area yesterday evening. So today, we're starting off sunny, but cooler. Can you tell the difference already this morning?
Mm-hmm.
We're not getting to the 80s. We're not even going to get close to that. In fact, today's highs, we're just going to scrape the low 60s. That's it. So that is well below our average highs for this time of year. Plus, you got the winds on top of the low 60s. So the winds are pulling out of the northwest. That's that colder Canadian air mass that we hate so much in the winter. But it's refreshing right now a little bit. I mean, it took the humidity and the mugginess away, and winds are going to be whipping today up to 30 to potentially 40 miles per hour at times. They're going to start to get vicious here in the next hour or two, and they're going to stay that way for pretty much the next 48 hours. It's going to be a windy day today, tomorrow, and even into a little bit of Saturday too.
What is going on? I guess that's the simplest question because it really has been odd. As you said, these storms have popped up. We've had severe thunderstorm warnings here in Marathon County the last couple of days. They seem to come sort of out of nowhere. Then you start here today. Right now it's 60. The expectation is when you come into work in the morning and it's like 59, 60 degrees, it's going to warm up, be in the 70s by the time the day ends. And you're saying that basically we're not going to get much warmer than we are right now. What is going on with the weather pattern here in central Wisconsin?
Well, first of all, I hope you all brought your jackets today because, like you said, it's not going to be that afternoon nice feel. In fact, some rain is actually going to be rolling in. We have chances for more spotty showers again, mainly, I'd say from noon to 5 is probably our best chances for those. They're not going to be like yesterday or the day before with the big storms. These are just going to be some brief showers, about 15 minutes long that roll through. Not even heavy downpours like yesterday either. So we're calming things down, but if you think about the fact that these winds are just so strong, whipping out of the northwest, that kind of sets off a little bit of a disturbance. That's how you get these spotty showers. So nothing crazy today, no storms. I don't even think there'll be lightning, to be honest, but more rain in the forecast, unfortunately, today, this afternoon. But tomorrow, we will start to see some little bit of warmth. I mean, talking low 70s. So that'll be a big difference compared to today. But the winds are still going to be there. It's going to be sunny all day. I'm not looking at rain chances moving in tomorrow, but Saturday morning I am. So Saturday starts off a little dreary, showers moving across the state. Then it starts to clear out throughout the afternoon, and we'll actually have a pretty dry Sunday. But we stay in the low 70s until midweek next week. Then we'll feel like summer again. Then the June vibes will return. But until then, we're still in spring officially, technically.
Yeah, you're right. And it just sounds like it's going to be kind of the normal weekend we've had. We've had a lot of these weekends where it's been sort of a mix. One of the days has been a little bit, you're going to have to kind of keep an eye on the sky if you have any plans. And then one day seems to be beautiful. And I guess we can take that. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
The 50-50, right? One of the days just better be nice is all I've got to say.
Exactly right. Okay, what are the details here as we get to the end of the work week?
Absolutely. So today, much cooler and windy. Gusts up to 35 miles per hour are possible. We're looking at highs staying in the low 60s. Partly cloudy for a good chunk of the day. A few scattered showers could push in this afternoon. And then tonight, lows fall to the upper 40s. We actually clear out, dry out, no more rain. But it will stay breezy tomorrow, too. Still gusting 25 to 30 miles per hour. Still out of the northwest. Still keeping us cooler, but just a touch warmer into the low 70s. And that's where we're going to hang out for the rest of the weekend. Shots of showers push in Saturday morning throughout the afternoon. We'll clear on out and have a beautiful Sunday. And actually next week starts off beautiful too. So Lorraine will calm down.
Very good. Well, again, I'll say it very softly because I know there's some people that want it to get much warmer. I have no issue with the temperatures where they're going to be even today. I like a little tinge of coolness in the air. I don't know. That's just me. So I'm not going to complain one bit about what you just told us.
I have a feeling you're not alone, Chad. So this one is for you guys.
Hey, we appreciate it, Brittney. Have a great Thursday, and we'll catch you again tomorrow.
Sounds good. Have a great day.
Bye, Brittney.
Bye.
That is our Brittney Merlot. Right now, again, beautiful start here in downtown Wausau. Fair skies, temperature of 60 degrees. As Brittney said, it's a gusty day. It's going to be a gusty day, and it's a gusty start. Winds are out of the west at 17 miles per hour, gusting as high as 25 miles per hour. The dew point is 50, so that relative humidity has taken a dip from where it's been the last couple of days. It's now 70%. The barometer at 29.53 inches and a visibility of 10 miles. Coming up later in the program, again in the second hour, we'll have another opportunity for you to win with our Civic Media Scotty Summer Text to Win contest. Coming up after 9 o'clock, I will give you our keyword for the hour, and then you pull up the Civic Media app, find Bull Falls Radio, find the texting button, and then text our keyword. I'll give it to you just after 9 o'clock. Also coming up after 9 at 9:20, we'll talk to former U.S. Senator Doug Jones of Alabama, who paid a visit to Wausau yesterday for an event, and I had a chance to talk to him. We'll hear that. And coming up next, it's our weekly Thursday feature, NorthStar Knows. And we'll have our NorthStar Restoration and NorthStar Bills crew coming on in straight ahead. That's right after an information update. News, weather, and sports coming up next. Along with Ian Welsh, I'm Chad Holmes. The Chad Holmes Show, Bull Falls Radio, 98.9 and 1230.
Everything I thought that I knew starts to look so unreal. There's a ringing in my head that keeps me awake at night. Sometimes I don't know what is right. Today I saw a car push my little dog under its wheel.
And welcome back. Chad Holmes with you here on Bull Falls Radio, 98.9 and 1230. Online at bullfallsradio.com, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. It is Thursday morning. That means it's time again for NorthStar Knows with NorthStar Restoration and NorthStar Builds. And this morning, last week it was Jay and me. And I said, well, we're in trouble. Jay can't talk. But no, Jay was great. And now we got John Garcia back with us. I'm
Good
glad
to see you back.
Yeah, it was the first week you weren't around.
Yeah.
I kind of was, it was weird, you know. But it's great to see you back again, John. And Pookie is back.
Yeah.
Hey, great to see you again as
you
well.
You as well, Chad.
And again, there's so much going on with you guys at NorthStar, and it's really been exciting. Before we start, I know that, was it last weekend that you had the adventure race?
We did.
How did that go?
It was awesome. So it's really it's a lot of fun seeing all the people come together in the community and going out and doing something like the race. But then when you couple it with the fact that you're able to promote these local businesses as well as raise money for something like the Hagar House, it really changes the impact. So it was awesome. Thanks for asking. I appreciate
fantastic. No, that was terrific. And again, it just sounded like so much fun.
It really was.
One of the things. But you get through one weekend with a lot of activities, and then it just keeps on a-coming.
It does.
And we're not going to talk about just one different activity here today. We're going to actually talk about multiple activities as the Central Wisconsin Rod and Bike Show. We're going to talk about that, and we're also going to talk, of course, again, on the ongoing Parade of Homes as well. But we're going to start things off with the Central Wisconsin Rod and Bike Show, and Pookie, you going to talk about this?
I will, yeah.
Let's start with a thumbnail sketch on what that is.
Sure. So, I mean, it's a car show. It's a car and bike show. So we have, collectors that from all over, tri-state actually area that bring their vehicles out. Last year we had some incredible Shelbys out there. So we have a great variety of vehicles along with some vintage bikes. We do it at Bull Falls Harley-Davidson. We'll be doing it this year there. And so they're great, very graciously hosting for us. And it's just a really good time. We have a lot of pinup girls come out. Tim Tesh is out there singing. Tim is an incredible entertainer. If you've ever seen him entertain, he's just fabulous. He's an Elvis impersonator. Come on, Chad, you know you would enjoy it.
I'm a Vegas guy.
There you go.
I tell
You would thoroughly enjoy it. So, I mean, it's just a lot of fun, family fun all day long.
I'm going to Vegas in a couple of weeks, and that could be my lead-in.
It totally can.
Get me into the mood.
Get you moving and shaking for Elvis.
Exactly, and again, that's one thing about this area, and I know that you've been around it for a long time.
Yeah.
The people, they love their vehicles, don't they?
Absolutely. You know I'm a Harley girl.
Yes, you are.
Absolutely. So, yes, we do. We love our vehicles, and it's a really great way in central Wisconsin to have that camaraderie. You know, we have a lot of festivals that are going on. There's so much to do in the summertime, and it's really a lot of fun to see all of these like-minded people who enjoy cars and bikes coming together. You know, the families. It's Father's Day this weekend.
Yes,
it's June 15th this year, so Father's Day weekend, and so you can bring Dad out. We've got Dad's root beer floats for them. There are different vendors that are going to be there. So the kids can have a really great time. Mom and Dad can have a great time. There's going to be awesome food. Tim Tesh, the entertainer. I mean, and we're going to have some really cool raffles.
It is a week from Saturday, June the 15th, again at Bull Falls Harley-Davidson. I should be able to say Bull Falls. I say it all the time. Bull Falls Harley-Davidson, 1570 County Road, Double X in Rothschild. And another thing that you just love. And again, I know that, asking for a couple bucks isn't a bad thing, but it's free admission.
It is free admission.
You love
It's
that.
free admission, which we like to keep it that way because families really do enjoy coming out. It's a great way to really celebrate Dad, on a Father's Day weekend. And you really can't ask for a better location. I mean, it's bikes, it's cars, entertainment all weekend. It's a fabulous time.
One thing I've also learned doing this program with everybody at NorthStar is there's always multiple layers to what you're doing and to why you're doing it.
Absolutely.
And here again, there are the multiple layers of charitable activities as well.
Yeah, one of the things that really draws me and continues to keep me at NorthStar is, the inspiration. They really focus on philanthropy. It's something that you don't hear very often. It's a small business here right in town, NorthStar is, and yet their footprint in this town is huge when it comes to philanthropy. So that's to me, that's really something important. And this year, we're supporting the Red Cross, who is collecting winter clothes for veterans this year, which is a big deal to us. And then the Firefighters Foundation, which is a really big deal. Those guys go out and they get to meet people right at their need, remove all the barriers from the red tape from being able to help them.
Right.
They can get them in a new house if they need to. As far as rentals go, they've been able to supply people with overnight stays, places, clothes, food, gift cards, whatever it is that family needs who's been traumatized. These incredible firefighters are able to show up and help them. So we always want to support that.
Fantastic. And again, it seems to be such a commonality in everything we talk about.
It really is.
And
We're really proud of that. The owners of NorthStar, Jay Cricks and Sean Milliken, two incredible men who really feel a passion for the community. And you can see that through all of the philanthropy we do throughout the year. And this is another incredible event that really showcases exactly that.
I got to ask one more question about the Harley aspect.
Sure.
You said you're a Harley girl.
I am.
What are your favorite Harleys?
Oh, that's so hard for me. That is really, really, really hard for me because you get into the old school panheads and I am just in knuckleheads and I am totally in, but I would say without a doubt, the Softail Deluxe, it's got that whole vintage look to it. It's a gorgeous bike. It's incredible to ride. Those Softails they're so incredibly versatile and it's just a classic looking Harley. It doesn't have all the bells and crazy whistles. It's just gorgeous. That's my specific. And then everybody who knows me has seen my bike. And it looks like somebody just shook me and I ended up Pookie all over this bike. It's pink, it sparkles, it's crazy. And that's a little freewheeler, which is a 3-wheel bike, and it's just glorious.
Great to show the personality.
It is. That's what we do.
It says a lot about who you are, the way your bike is, right?
And yes, and you'll see a lot of that at the Rod and Bike Show because people are bringing out their custom motorcycles. They're bringing out their vintage motorcycles. Where else in Central Wisconsin are you going to go to see that kind of collection? of vintage bikes.
Again, that will be a week from Saturday, June 15th, Bull Falls Harley-Davidson, 1570 County Road, Double X in Rothschild. Free admission. By the way, John, are you a car or a bike guy, or are you just a house guy?
just a house guy.
Because you
got
got
an outdoors guy.
All your
John's
juices.
got many layers, but I'll tell you, his attention to detail. While he might not be a car or a bike guy, he can look at those cars and bikes and tell you. Like, he's got an incredible attention to detail. It's just phenomenal.
Fantastic. So everybody, mark that calendar. I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit more next week as well to remind you that it's a week from Saturday. Great Father's Day weekend activity with the Central Wisconsin Rod and Bike Show again at Bull Falls Harley-Davidson. And John, again, you've been so busy. I tell you, and this week, of course, is the start. I mean, you've already been doing it for 2 days, right?
Correct, yeah.
Again, the parade of homes going on. It goes on until Sunday, is it correct?
Sunday, yep.
So it goes on through Sunday. And it sounds like and we were talking before we started the program, that we had a couple of days where we had severe thunderstorm warnings here in Marathon County. Yep. And that's just, you just got to pull your hair out because you're thinking, people are going to come out. And yet the first couple of nights have been really, really good in terms of the folks coming through.
Yeah, so Tuesday, which was the first night, the first hour to 2 hours was insane. I mean, there was people nonstop coming in and out. We ended up with 304 people that came through the door. And the funny thing was so I was taking tickets, and they were coming through the overhead garage door. Every time you walk through it, the light stays on, right? Mm-hmm. Well, the light never turned off until almost 9 o'clock, and I didn't even notice it until it shut off finally. I was like, wow. That just goes to show you like how many people were coming through that it never turned off because, it has that delay in between. But yeah, I mean, so many great comments, people that were coming through, they couldn't believe, because when you come to the front of the home, you don't realize how large it is. And then when you step in through the entry, because we're having everyone come through the front door instead of going through the garage, when you step through that front door and you see the view of all the windows and looking out to the lake, and they get in there, they're looking around, they can't even believe it. And everyone has said how they're like, this is literally the best view on Lake Wausau.
Yes.
Because it's up so high, you can see so far over the lake. And everybody really likes all the metal siding that we have on the sides, because they're like, it's unique. It's not the same as what everyone else has been doing. And it is so contemporary and just out of the ordinary, which is, something new in the parade. There's another one, Complete Crete. That's another house that is pretty contemporary looking too. That's another good one. But yeah, there's 12 homes total. And I went to all of them on Monday. That's the builder tour. Mm-hmm. So we all get on a bus, and then we go to all the homes and walk through them. And all 12 are great houses to view. So, I mean, people have a huge variety to go to. And there's one up in Tomahawk, Irma, Merrill, and then one down on Dubay. So you can get your drive in, that's for sure.
Circle tour.
Yeah.
Again, we're talking to John Garcia and Pookie here on Bull Falls Radio. It is, again, our NorthStar Knows segment with NorthStar Restoration Services, and NorthStar builds every Thursday morning right here on Bull Falls Radio. You said it. I imagine, and you've shown me some pictures, and it really blows the mind in terms of, not number one, the house itself, and then number two, as you said, the location. I mean, you always hear the term location. Yep. You can have a wonderful structure, and if it's in the wrong location, it takes away a little. You got the combination of both. I imagine that you said that people are just love the view and just be able to stand there and soak it in. I imagine you almost have to say, okay, people, I keep on moving here.
Yeah, people, they get up to the loft area where the office is, and they just stand out there and look, because that is probably that view, and then upstairs where the kids' bedrooms are, that's like the other best view. And yeah, people like to hang out there for quite a while.
How many rooms are there?
There's 4 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms.
7 bathrooms.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do with 7 bathrooms. I've never been in a house with 7 bathrooms. What else do you hear? Because when you've had a number of different these kind of events since we started this program, and you've always said that the discussions, and you've said it. Hey, you love having these discussions with the folks. What are some of the things that they've been telling you? Because I imagine that you take what you hear and you use it in terms of as you move forward, because again, what you do is never stagnant, is it? It's always moving forward.
Yeah, you always want to try to continuously improve, bring in new products, especially like I watch a lot of builders that are on the East and West Coast, And that really gives us inspiration also, because they always kind of get everything first and then it trickles into the Midwest. But a lot of people were impressed. So we actually have a RV park there from Camping World. They're part of WABA. And so we actually integrated an RV hookup in the side of the house. So that way, if you have a camper and RV, you'll have your 50 amp plug, to plug into, which is super nice. So if you have some extra guests, that are going to come over and you got a camper or RV, you can, have them stay in there. Or if the kids want to go in there for the night because it's fun, they could do that too. But definitely everybody has really had their eye on all the different siding materials that we've been using, and they're asking a lot of questions about what brand it is, what style it is, what's the warranty, how does it install, all this stuff, because they're just very intrigued, because you see a lot of standard siding on a lot of houses, so they've been intrigued by that. Another thing is the marbling epoxy floor in the bar. A lot of people, they walk in because it's bright white with black striping through it. And when they walk in, they go, "What kind of floor is this?" And they run down to it right away, and they're feeling it, and "What is this?" And so you usually see a lot of flake, garage floors. And our garage floor was just colored concrete that was power troweled, and that it has a high gloss sealer on it. So it's just high gloss colored concrete, versus you see a lot of the epoxy flake that is in garages with multicolor, and then there's a top coat over it. So that's been something a little different, because most of the other houses have a flake with a top coat over it. Same thing with the bars. Sometimes you'll see them inside bars as well. So it just gives them a little different look. And people have been really intrigued by that.
We got about a minute to go in this segment, and when you were talking about that, it kind of jumped into my mind is, how long is the process for the Parade of Homes home for you, in terms of when do you start thinking about what you want to do in terms of this event specifically?
I mean, the more time you can have, the better, but you need at least, I would say you have to start planning before now for next spring or earlier, because the more time you give yourself, the more time you can sit down with the homeowner and discuss all the options, go room by room, look at all the different photos, integrate all the little details. That way you're so much more prepared, because everything gets last minute, and then things aren't getting done how they were going to because of lead times, and you don't want any of that. So the earlier the better. I would say a minimum a year. For sure.
And it's important. Yeah. This is really a showcase, for lack of a better term. Terrific. Again, we'll have more with John and Pookie coming up in just a moment. Again, it's NorthStar Knows. The time is 8:49. Bull Falls Radio, 98.9 and 1230. And welcome back. NorthStar Knows here on both Bull Falls Radio, 98.9 and 1230, bullfallsradio.com. Mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app, and again also on our Facebook and X pages, Bull Falls Radio, with a video stream as well. I'm Chad Holmes with John Garcia and Pookie, and again we're talking about Parade of Homes that's continuing. One final point about the house before we kind of move on. Again, some of the information people need to know about the Parade of Homes as well. You talked about the siding, and again, a few weeks ago you were showing me some of the pictures, and very, very impressive. Where did it is different? I think what's the background on that style? Is that something that you would come across somewhere? I guess maybe the background on where your imagination took you to this point.
Yeah, so actually the homeowners were the ones that found different photos of different houses, and actually the Nietzsche siding that we have on the entry, that's actually more of a commercial product that you see on a lot of commercial buildings, because have you ever seen an industrial building that has that high gloss panels on a front office area? It kind of makes it look really fancy. So that's where they got inspiration for that. And then with the metal, they saw a couple photos that had some metal that were similar to that. And then when they looked it up, they found there was different sizes that we could put together. So when it all got put together with the different accents, it really pulled everything together. Also, if you look at Scandinavian style homes, That's like another very contemporary home, very sleek, a lot of industrious look. So just kind of pulling from all of that to put it all together to really make it a staple.
And the thing about you said, I mean, the numbers have been really good the first couple of days and nights, but we now really you expect the weekend. And we still have, today, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday.
Exactly.
What do people need to know in terms of, again, we've touched on this in the past, but again, maybe people are saying, man, it sounds like this is something I'd really like to experience. What do they need to know in terms of ticketing and everything else?
Yeah, so today and tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, it's open from noon to 9, and you can only buy tickets at the homes. So and they're $10 a ticket, so it's cash, or there's also a PayPal scan link that you can scan to pay as well. So you come in, purchase your ticket, we'll mark the house. There's a box by every single house, 1 through 12. So we'll mark that, and it's not saying that you're done, you can't come back. It's just so you remember that, oh yeah, we already went to these houses, because after you get driving around, you kind of forget, like, oh wait, did we go to this one? Did we not go to this one? So once you buy your ticket, we have a carpeted area with chairs set up. You'll take your shoes off, put booties over your socks, and then you're entering in through the front door. And then Saturday and Sunday, it's from 11 to 5. So you have plenty of options to come to the show in the next 4 days. And, we've had people show up the last 2 nights at like 8:55 even. We're not just closing it, shutting the door on people's face. So if you come in, if you're running late, it's not a problem. We'll stay and chat with you and make sure you get to look at everything.
You're just too nice. I tell you, I'm going to say it like, if I was at 8:55, you've had a long day, and all of a sudden you have to go start another tour. Oh, You're just way too nice. But again, I imagine, though, as well, though, that a lot of the folks that come by are actually thinking about that next step, and that's got to be exciting, because you probably sense the excitement there as well. They're in the midst of something kind of big.
Yeah, especially you see a lot of younger couples coming through too, and maybe they're remodeling their house, but they're looking at all these cool ideas and talking about it and getting excited and thinking about how they can incorporate that into their design. Even if they're remodeling just their kitchen or just a living room area, at least they can take parts and pieces and put it into their design that they're thinking about. So we've had a lot of questions even just on cabinets and countertops and even the type of flooring and just little aspects. So even things like that, we're talking to people about and letting them know and giving them all the information. One lady she was like, do you guys have like a list of some of the things that you have in there? I was like, I don't, but if, here's my card, you can shoot me a text and I can send you, if you have certain questions, because she wanted to get on to the other houses, but I was like, hey, just shoot me a message and I can get back to you on some of these.
I was going to say that you probably ended up, when you look at your appointment book, you have a number of new appointments set up after these days, don't you?
Oh yeah, for sure.
They're saying, hey, I love to get together and talk more, I imagine. And again, for folks that are maybe thinking that it may not be today or even this year, but if you're thinking maybe at some point in the near future that you may be taking that step to get a new house and to have an opportunity to build that dream house, boy, the ideas that you can get, as you said, for so many different houses, not just the NorthStar home.
Absolutely.
There's so many opportunities to kind of jog the imagination in a sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every single house has its own unique features. I mean, if you go from our house, you go down to Woodbury's house, you're going to see some different things that are at our house. If you go to Jeremy Voigt's house that has a golf simulator in the basement, you're going to get some ideas there too. So, I mean, they're all unique in their own way, and you can really get a lot of different inspiration from all of them.
Well, let's kind of put a bow on what we've been talking about here today, because, again, 2 fantastic events coming up. And, again, Pookie, let's just recap again. We talked about the Rod and Bike Show coming up not this weekend, but next weekend. And, again, what's the basic details people need to know about that?
Absolutely, Chad. So 8 a.m. we'll start our pancake breakfast that's sponsored by the Kiwanis. And after that pancake breakfast, we will have activities throughout the day with entertainer Tim Tesh, as well as food trucks, cars, bikes, vintage, new, you name it, raffles, entertainment all day long for Father's Day from 8 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Bring the kids out, bring dad out, come celebrate.
And see Pookie's ride.
Yeah. That's right. Come out and see Rosie.
There you go. And John, again, this weekend, huge opportunity. And again, just underline the fact that this is a great chance today through Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. Today and Friday, noon to 9, and then Saturday and Sunday, 11 to 5. So come on out.
Terrific. John and Pookie, again, great talking to both of you. I know you're going to be very busy for the next few days, John, and Pookie, again, hopefully next weekend goes really exceptionally well as well.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure, Chad. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And again, don't forget, if you missed any of our discussions, including this one, just go to the podcast page or wherever you get your podcast. Go to our Bull Falls radio site, go to civicmedia.us, go to the Chad Holmes Show. Just search out Chad Holmes Show wherever you get your podcast. And every Thursday, we've had these very interesting discussions with NorthStar Knows. And we'll do it again next week, Thursday, starting at 8:34. So both of you enjoy the weekend. We'll talk very
Thanks,
soon.
Chad.
We'll see you next week.
Absolutely. Coming up, it's an information update, news, weather, and sports, and then hour number 2 of the program. And coming up after the information update, we will give you the keyword for our Civic Media Scotty Summer Text to Win contest. Your chance to win coming up here on Bull Falls Radio, 98.9 and 1230.